Alright, here we go. Episode 2. We pick up with Joe Logan torturing Cyberpunk Boy. I thought he died in the last episode, but with the way he looks, he probably wishes he was dead. Joe gets up to try and continue torturing Cyberpunk Boy, but passes out from the injuries he's piled up. He's been really getting through some battles lately. We're then introduced to a doctor surrounded by a bunch of cats, and we finally discover that Joe Logan's real name is Hegon. The doc starts working on Hegon, and as they're casually talking, he tells him about his plan to finish the torture of Cyberpunk Boy and then invade the Death Ninja headquarters. Hegon goes back to working on torturing. He carves up Cyberpunk Boy for like 5 days straight, just stabbing him with different knives. He then pours gas on Cyberpunk Boy's face, and Cyberpunk Boy gets a little froggy. He starts trying to play mind games with Hegon by talking about the look that his wife had and the look that his son had right before they died in front of his eyes. This mind game totally backfires on Cyberpunk Boy because Hegon responds to him by lighting him up like a Christmas tree. That boy was flame grilled. We then cut to the FBI agent who's being stonewalled from investigating Hegon's case. We can clearly see that the feds are bought and won't be much help with this one. So Detective Man and Detective Girl decide to ignore the higher ups and keep investigating anyway. We then see Hegon hitting up all the old ninja hideouts he knows of and ends up coming up empty at each one. He finally gives up the search and calls Detective Man. Detective Girl tries to track the call, but Hegon is too slick for their games. He's got 2 burner phones with him. He tells Detective Man, "You want to keep playing stupid games, or do you want to get some answers?" Detective Man finally agrees to meet up with Hegon, and as Hegon makes his way to the meeting spot, we start hearing a lot about this Eatz corporation. They've got this propaganda ad running in the background non-stop, and you can tell they've got their hands on everything. Hegon gets to the meeting spot and scouts it as Detective Man walks into the restaurant. Our boy Hegon makes his appearance and he and Detective Man get to talking. Hegon wants any intel on the Death Ninjas, but Detective Guy ain't having it. He tries to arrest Hegon but keeps getting interrupted by the Eatz carriers. Apparently this restaurant is the Grand Central Station for Uber carriers. A third Uber Eats driver shows up, but this one's different. Like real different. He didn't come to pick up food. He came to pick up some bodies. In a blink of an eye, Hegon and Uber Eats get to scrapping. Uber Eats breaks out 2 sides and goes in for his first body on the detective. Hegon saves the detective's lives, and then Uber Eats says, "I've got an order for 4, and breaks open another set of arms to better kill these 2 with. As Uber Eats starts swinging at Hegon, he weaves all his blows and then calls out the smoke ghost technique again. You know what happens when this comes out. But this time, he breaks out another set of ghouls or ghost-looking arms of his own and decides to go toe-to-toe with the 4-for-4 meal from Uber Eats. As they're scrapping, Uber Eats divides himself into 2 people and they both start coming after Hegon. Finally, Hegon has had enough. He calls on his fire-style jutsu, gives it to Uber Eats a crazy toasting, and then finishes him off with a nasty 2-for-1 deal. With Uber Eats out of the way, Hegon tells Detective Man that he's a ninja, but before they're able to talk anymore, they get attacked by a van full of mystery agents. The agents start spraying the restaurant with bullets and then blow it up with a rocket launcher just for good measure. Somehow Detective Man survives all this and is left to explain the carnage to the restaurant owner. The episode ends with the one-eyed villain being told that Hegon is still alive. I'm sure we'll see more of this guy in the next episode. And that's it for episode 2. Honestly, felt more like a setup episode in my opinion. It was pretty good. I give it a 6 out of 10 mainly for the Uber Eats fight. That was kind of crazy. But looking forward to seeing more about the Eatz Corporation and their part in all this. Well, that's all for today. See y'all in the next one.